Afternoon, it's James from Advanced In-Car Tech. We are sat in a 66 plate 2016-2017 VW Sharan. It's a family wagon. This particular job that we're doing today has been requested by a main dealer, so the customer has full Highline DIS or DIS or MFD, multifunction display, multifunction steering wheel, and the Discover Media, the non-nav version. So as you can see, it's the newer generation of MIB radios, but non-nav, and that was the sticking point for this particular customer from the main dealer. So what we gave the main dealer, we gave them two options. The most sensible way would be to work backwards and fit the RNS 315 that integrates Bluetooth, DAB and navigation. Still going to get your parking display, still going to get your multifunction steering wheel to work, and we're still going to get the driver's information system to cooperate fully with the radio. Microphone and everything else is the same, so it was to a certain extent pretty much plug and play. The other option was to upgrade this fully to the Discover Media Nav. The problem with that is the cost involved. We would have to buy brand new from the main dealer through the parts system, and that works out quite a lot of money to do that. And then also, because the car wasn't born with that system, it would eventually end up with quite a few issues and other bits of information that the main dealer would have to do. And that takes the retrofit side of it away from us, because we want to be able to offer the customer exactly what they wanted, and that's navigation. So what you see on the camera right now is the car as it was designed from the factory with the Discover Media non-nav in, and we're going to do the transplant over, do all the coding side of it so that everything's going to work, and when we come back to you shortly we'll show you all of that working, and for a sensible cost, option 2, so the customer will drive away with navigation and DAB and Bluetooth, but for a reasonable cost rather than spending probably double. We'll see you shortly. Okay, this is stage 2. We've now fitted the RNS 315, so just going to run through a couple of basic things. So we are sat in a 2016-17 VW Sharan, so there's a few differences, a few changes that you need to take into consideration when doing this. Bluetooth works as per normal, works through the steering wheel, through the driver's information system. Voice control will work through the steering wheel, voice control will work through the RNS 315. Once it's loaded up, it'll come up with a little microphone down here. The driver's information system will work exactly the same. So at the moment we're on the telephone menu, and that will give you your normal phone book, call register, etc, etc. And then what you can do is you can scroll right and all the way back through your audio channel to see what you're listening to, CD, DAB, radio, whatever, and also your navigation will come up. So nothing's changed, you've lost nothing, or you've gained the navigation side of it. So the steering wheel and the driver's information system works the same. Slightly smaller display you will notice, but you can't have all of it, and this is one device that does all, so nav, DAB and Bluetooth. Now, a few things that will have changed, obviously. We've got the 3.5mm aux built into the head unit, and if you've already got it in this car, sometimes under the armrest where this is, or down in the cubby hole below the other buttons here, on the newer style cars you don't get the MDI or the iPod interface, you get a USB and an aux. Well, the aux doesn't work, it's not plugged in because we've got it here, and the USB won't be able to talk to the 315 because it doesn't know how to. It's a different data protocol. So as long as you make that aware to your customers or yourself, and you realize that the USB is not going to work, you could take it out and put a blank in, or just leave it be. But you do have your 3.5mm jack socket, and you've also got music streaming as well as your CD player and your DAB. So just go over to the navigation side of things. You can go in, GPS antenna has been fitted obviously, and you can zoom back out. The mapping on here, yeah, it's a smaller map, much smaller than the RNS 510. We're in night mode at the moment because we're in the workshop, so that's why the map colours are slightly darker. So all that will work exactly the same. The only difference you will notice is that with the parking display, it's a slightly different protocol. So when we put the car into reverse, you still get the VW Sharan, the vehicle that we're in, come up on the display, but it won't be as interactive as you would do with the Discover Media. So if I was to start the engine, you won't get the moving guidelines coming from the back of the car whilst in reverse, or when I put it out of reverse, you won't get the front moving trajectory. No big deal. At least we've got parking display on here, and it's the right and it's the correct car that we're sat in. Obviously, illumination will work exactly the same. Nothing changes there because it's a genuine Volkswagen unit, and you do get everything else that you would expect. But this is the best and cheapest way of getting navigation into this vehicle without spending probably twice what you would for something like this. And the small cons instead of the pros you can easily live with, because it's not as if you're not got everything on your steering wheel and your display. So this is a 2016-17 Sharan. We've taken out the Discover Media non-navigation. We fitted in the good old trusty RNS 315. It's working with the parking sensors and would work with the camera if we'd supplied and fitted it, but of course it's slightly different how it interacts with the camera interface on the newer range. But if it had a camera, it would also have the navigation radio fitted, so we wouldn't have been doing it. If this customer comes back and wants to navigate a rear view camera, we would then fit a rear view camera highline module for the RNS 315, so again would work in the same principle. And this is it, job done, all fitted, voice control works, parking sensors work, and all the other bits and pieces. So if you want to do something like this in your car or want some further information, then get in touch with us at www.advanced-incar.co.uk. Thanks for watching.